Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body. The way she ride, the way she rock her body.
At once, they probably use two machines at once. I'm just saying, like, you know, they leave their water bottle on one and while they go use
I think Felicia needs to go back to bed and wake up on the other side and come back in.
Next hour, give me an hour to get it together. We've got 2 more hours. Okay, so look, we've got a bunch of green bubbles. That is good news. But let me tell you, we could have some travel delays at some point. New York, Boston, you got some weather around. But the good news is that weather is going to keep moving out. So if you're not seeing delays right now, it's going to improve as we move through the day. Looks fantastic in Atlanta and Dallas and Chicago. Now, if you're talking about some of the roadways, we could have some issues across the Northeast. We've already seen some issues because, well, we've got a little bit of wintry weather happening. Got weather like my mood this morning, apparently. On and off rain across the Northeast. We've got some icing in some places. Guys, just drive carefully. You want to slow down. If you're in some of those places where we are having that icing ongoing, remember, I don't care how amazing of a driver you are. If there is ice on the road, you're not going to be able to drive on that. We've got scattered yellow and reds popping up all over the Northeast for airport impacts today because of that weather that we're seeing. Where you're seeing the pink, well, that is indicative of that ice that we've been talking about across portions of New England, New York. Your most rainy time is going to be this morning. It's going to get better as we move through the day. Steph, you know it's also going to get better as we move through the day. My outlook on that volleyball video, I'm going to like it by the end of the 3 hours.
No, Felicia actually is in a really good mood. She was just having a little moment there. All right, maybe we should change the song.
It is that weird time of year where we're all just kind of floating around until the beginning of next year, right? And a lot of us are doing some traveling. So let's take a look at what you can expect if you're on the roads across the Northeast this morning. We've definitely got some rain. Got a little bit of wintry weather happening too across portions of New England in the form of freezing rain. We've seen a little bit of that around, especially south of Poughkeepsie as you look up towards Springfield and the Boston area. Some of those roads, those sidewalks, they're going to be slick because we've had some freezing rain this morning. Where you're seeing some of the pinks and into the blues, that is icy or snow along that 95 corridor for portions of Maine up through portions of Vermont and New Hampshire as well. So as you're heading out, make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of extra time. Just remember, not even the best drivers can drive on ice, so be careful.
Not at all.
Have plenty of sliding action. You don't want your car or especially your plane to have any sliding action. Now, the good news is we've got some green bubbles going on. We got a bunch of green bubbles currently, but that might not be the case for the entire day, or at least your morning, especially as we head through, because we could have some delays. We got a little bit of messy weather out there. Take a look at where we could see some of those spots with delays. New York and Boston. The good news is the weather will continue improving there in New York. Boston, you've got a little while to go, but places like Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago should be just fine in terms of the weather impacting your flight in any way. Now, as you're heading out, I mentioned you want your sleds to slide, but you don't want your car to slide, and we've got some ice around this morning. So that's a definite possibility in some places across New England. On and off rain, but we do have that possibility for some icing. We've already seen it. Not just your car, but the sidewalks could be a little slick if they're untreated. And you can see here a lot of yellow and reds as we look at the airport impacts possible moving throughout the day. Yellow, medium weather impacts for the airports. Reds, those areas that could be significantly impacted by the weather in terms of getting your flights off and going this morning. Now, here's what we're looking at. Portions of Maine down through southern Vermont and New Hampshire. Definitely the possibility for some freezing rain. NYC, your worst part of the day is going to be this morning. It's going to clear out in terms of the rain by later on. You'll have some sunshine. Tomorrow, take a look at what happens to the temperatures. We're topping out in the 30s there in Pittsburgh and in Buffalo. A little bit of lake effect snow for Buffalo. And by Christmas Eve, you can see those temperatures are starting to warm back up, but the rain moving back in. So, Steph, it's a little bit of an up and down on the temperature wheel across the north.
That it is. Which will be warmer, Halloween or Christmas? So the 3 of us are going to play a game. We want you to play along at home. There it is, my the game show theme music.
What game show is that?
The game is, we're going to show you a temperature on Halloween in a city. Is it hotter or is it colder on Christmas? And our first city is Raleigh. Ooh. 72 degrees on Halloween. Will it be warmer or colder? I say warmer.
Up, warmer.
Oh, God. I'm going to say, can we go equal?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, why not?
Equal.
Okay, Felicia's going to go with equal. Oh, wow.
Very close.
68, but by the way, the average is 54 degrees.
Oh, geesh.
This time of year. So here's a look at our forecast. You see that. There's those warmer, look at Dr. Bostell.
I was one day off.
You and I were a day off from those warmer temperatures. Felicia's got a groove over
coming.
there.
It's the groove magic.
He's undefeated.
I'm undefeated.
All right, our second city is St. Louis, 60 degrees on Halloween. I'm going to go warmer for this one for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go warmer for this one too.
Okay, so here is the answer, 64. All winners on that one. The average this time of year, 40 Park at this year's annual Deck the Chairs event in Jacksonville, Florida.
Now, the Christmas art installations made from thousands of single-use plastics, raising awareness to the mass amounts of waste that end up in our ocean. Now, here to tell us all about it is its founder, executive director of Beaches Go Green, Anne-Marie Moquin. Anne-Marie, thanks so much for joining us this morning. So we just have to know, what inspired this annual tradition?
So we wanted to be a part of a big event that happens annually here in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, called Deck the Chairs. And we wanted to use the method as a way to spread education about plastic pollution.
What are some of the features? We're showing them here. They look like candy canes and whatnot, but what are some of the displays and what are they made of? Felicia had mentioned single-use plastic, but is it plastic bags? Is it silverware?
Sure. So mostly single-use plastic bottles. We have over 17,718 bottles that were burned and strung on PEX piping in order to last for the display. This is our 4th year of doing the display, and we fill our exhibit with lots of educational signage so that as people come through and enjoy the beauty of the holiday lights and the magic of the music and the holidays, that they're also learning. They're learning about our waste and about reusing over single use.
Oh, I love this. It kind of sneaking it in there, even subconsciously if you have to. So, of course, the question is, what happens with all of this after the holidays? What happens to the display?
Absolutely. So typically we store it, but since this is our last year doing it at Deck the Chairs, we're donating it to a local elementary school, Mayport Coastal Science Middle School, and they're going to create a permanent outdoor learning space that will be surrounded by a garden, and it'll be enjoyed by children for years to come.
That's really cool. And this all has to do with Beaches Go Green. What does Beaches Go Green do, you know, when it comes to education and cleanup purposes?
Absolutely. So we are primarily an educational nonprofit. We focus on environmental education, and our goal is to get being eco-friendly on the radar of people who just aren't even thinking about it. We don't need a lot of people doing it perfectly. We just need people to be conscious of all the waste that they're producing, and we just want them to make subtle changes that make sense to them, things that they can live by. So we recommend choosing reusable over single use whenever possible.
And of course, you mentioned one of the things you do is kind of educational outreach. You work with a lot of students in the Jacksonville area. What are some of the ways they're helping make a difference in their community?
Absolutely. So we currently have 7 school clubs, and it's really exciting to educate these students and then see them turn around and do presentations and events to educate their peers and partnered elementary and middle schools. So these are truly the leaders of the future, and I'm so proud of them showing up and being so organized and being leaders. And we hope that we continue to grow our school clubs because they're really our future.
We hope so too.
Yeah, founder and director of Beaches Go Green, Anne-Marie Moquin, thank you so much for being with us this morning. They showed just a close-up of one of those, and I could see the bottles kind of going over those arches. It's really, really cool.
Really awesome. Really